Hello there, we're on the 8th of March 2020 and here you are with Dan. So today I'm going to be making an update video on a few things that are going on in the backyard food growing project here. But first a word, so I looked on the YouTube Studio app on the mobile phone here and looked at the comments section, and you've got held for review and likely spam, and I just looked in those folders and blimey, there's loads of comments that have gone straight into there that I haven't even seen. I don't know why they go in there, but a lot of them have. So if I've not replied to your comment, your question or whatever, there's a fair chance it's ended up in there. So it's not me being ignorant. I'm going to start, there's lots in there really is. I'm going to start going through that so that I can start answering people's questions that are in there. So there we go. Now with that being said, let's start the tour and you can see a few things that are going on here. Now look at this, the Dixie Red is more or less totally out. This beautiful peach tree here, lovely blossom as you can see here, and looking really lovely indeed. So I'm quite happy with that. Gave it a prune, as you know, so expecting some lovely crops to come from this. Oh, probably about June time, that will be the general idea. So nectarine, Lord Napier, there we go. And you can see here, now this is a little bit behind the Dixie Red in terms of blossom coming out, but there we go. So I'll let you have a look at that. You can see lovely pink there, all waiting to come out. You can see it a little bit clearer with that one here. Now this is peach peregrine, and there you go. You can see that the blossoms here have come out. So in this polytunnel, the two peach trees are in advance of the nectarine tree. So there we go. So quite happy with that. Now I've been getting questions regarding peaches, which is lovely because more and more people are starting to realise that you can grow peaches and nectarines here in the UK, and they're a great thing to grow. Now somebody asked me about keeping a lone peach in a polytunnel and fertilisation, pollination of the flowers, and yeah, the answer is yes. You can have one peach or nectarine tree in the polytunnel or greenhouse on its own. You won't have to worry about it not getting pollinated, because to my knowledge the majority of peaches and nectarines are self-fertile. Okay, now a little thing you can do, but you can see this is already moving about because of the wind hitting the polytunnel from the outside. But if it's in a greenhouse, if you want to just help it with a bit of pollination, you can just shake the branches like that if you want. But it's not necessary in here. You can do that with strawberries as well, and you can do that with tomatoes. That's just a little hint you can do if you want, but I certainly would not go out of your way to do that, but just a helping hand if you wish. So you've seen the raised bed, so what am I going to be putting in here? Well, as I stated on that video, mainly green vegetables, squashes, maybe some courgettes, things like that, things that can grow, that can tolerate to a degree low light levels, okay, because this part of the garden doesn't get a massive amount of sun. But one of the main purposes of my channel is to just encourage people to garden and to make the best of the situation that they're in. And if I have to grow vegetables in an area where there's less light levels than would be ideal, then so be it. That's how it's going to be in here. So there we go, that's what's going on with that. But things like komatsuna, kale, spinach, chard, and some squash plants, courgettes are definitely very much on the to be considered list for this project. Now the soft fruit project certainly going to be a big thing this year, I hope, and what I've got here is Florence. So you may remember these, they came from Pomona Fruits. I got a deal, buy 5 get 5 free, I think it worked out. So I had Florence and El Santa, okay, good varieties, and what I've done is put them in here like this, and you can see they're starting to grow away very well now if I wanted to, sorry about this wind, I'm trying to keep it so that you don't get too much noise disturbance. If I wanted to, I could put these in the polytunnel now and it would help advance them a little bit with the additional heat, but I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to let them do what they're naturally going to do for the time being. So we've got Florence here. I've labelled them all, okay. Now I think this is very important to do. I've got them labelled on both sides with a permanent marker, particularly if you're growing different varieties of the same thing. So strawberries, Florence here, and as you can see I've got Cambridge Favourite here and Cambridge Favourite here. I have El Santa here and El Santa here, particularly when you are, hoping to propagate from existing plants. I think it's nice to know what you've got in case, you want to swap with other gardeners maybe to gain different varieties, or in fact it's just lovely to know the variety. So label your stuff properly, and I think that if you do that, you'll be pleased that you did in a few years, even if you are a beginner, because I remember when I was sort of getting new to this, to me a strawberry was a strawberry, right? And, loads of different varieties and mixed them all up, that's how it went. But then, when I really got into it a few years later, I thought, cool, I'd really like to know which is which. And then you find you've got to start again. So a little bit of extra time for labelling is very much worth doing. Now the blueberries are coming on very well. You can see here, the majority of you are aware of what varieties I've got, so I won't go into those exactly. But you can see that the buds are starting to swell, so it'd be lovely to get some blueberries this year. And over here, some more blueberries as well, looking very nice. And the raspberries, variety Golden Queen, these are starting to leaf out now, very, very good. And over here, you can see what I got. You remember this, the fig, Madeleine de Deux Saisons, looking pretty good, starting to leaf out, well not leaf out, but bud up a little bit. And here we've got Komatsuna, spinach, chard, kale, and spring onions. These are going to be probably transplanted into the raised bed when I get the growing medium in it. Right, so I'm going to sign out now. I just wanted to make this a very short and brief video, but going to be making some videos soon about feeding. I'm going to be starting to spring feed my plants, particularly the ones in containers, because they need to gain all the nutrients from the container that they're in, so it's very important. But yeah, things really are starting to move now. Spring, I would say, is here. We're still getting frosts, so certainly I would not advise anyone putting tender things out now without protection, but it won't be long till May, and we'll all be ready to rock and roll. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. Any comments, questions, whatevers, I will hopefully respond to them, as long as they don't end up in the spam or the held for review folder. But there we go. And if you want to check me out on Dan_Home Gardens Instagram, you're very welcome to do so as well. Take care, speak soon.